What is going on, everybody? James Lai here, aka JT, and this is another free tip Friday. So today I'm going to go a couple minutes longer than normal because I'm covering a couple different topics that I think are super important and that I think everybody needs to know. And so if you need to take notes, take some notes. If you need to watch this 100 times over, please do so. And then after you watch this, if you have questions, please feel free to reach out. So I'm going to cover a couple different things. First off, I'm going to go over whether or not I think the market is going to crash like how it did back in 2008. And then I'm going to go over the actual numbers of what you might be paying monthly if you were to wait until the market actually drops. So regarding the market crashing, and the reason why I want to go over this is because this week I've had several conversations with friends, family, and potential clients who are in the market to buy a home, who want to buy a home, but they are a little bit afraid because they hear the narrative in the news about prices being at all-time highs, which they are, and they want to wait until the market crashes. Now, there's no doubt that the market is due for a correction, and you're seeing it now. I mean, properties are taking a little bit longer to sell in certain markets at certain price points. Prices are dropping a little bit here and there. So we're in the middle of a correction now, and this will probably continue for a bit. However, I don't think that the market is going to absolutely crash like how it did back in 2008, for the main reason being that lending practices now, so the process that it takes for an individual like you or I to go to the bank and get a loan, is a lot more strict now than really it has ever been, because the government has instilled a lot of policies to make sure that the market doesn't completely take a dump like it did before. So back in the early 2000s, if you could walk, talk, if you had a pulse, you could get qualified for a loan. I've heard stories, I've talked to clients of mine who back in the day would literally make $30,000, $40,000 from their job, walk into a bank and get qualified for a $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 home instantly without even having to show any type of paper trail or show any proof of the money that they're making. And for those of you who are in the market now or have bought a home in the last few years, you know that it is not that easy. The banks now are going to literally dig into every part of your finances, taxes, bank statements, pay stubs, everything for the past couple years to make sure that you can afford the $400,000 home that they approved you for. I mean, it's almost like they don't want you to get a loan. You know, that's not to scare you guys off who want to get pre-approved. It's the process, and it's to protect you as a consumer, and it's also to protect the banks. The banks don't want to foreclose, or they don't want to go through that process with people. So that is the main reason why I don't think the market is going to absolutely crash, is because for the past several years, the lending practices have been a lot more strict, and then also people have a lot more equity in their homes if they bought in the past 4 or 5 years. So that's that. Now let's dig into the numbers for those of you who actually want to see what you might be paying now versus waiting until the market drops. So one thing that, I mean, one of the main factors that goes into your monthly payment is the interest rate. What people don't understand is that right now, interest rates are lower than really they've ever been, and lower than the historical average. The historical average of interest rates is around 8%. Right now, you can get a little bit lower than 4%, and that is half off on your money. I've talked to people who are in the market or who were selling real estate back in the 80s, and interest rates were like 18%. Granted, the prices were a lot lower, but anyways, so people have to take that into consideration when they're buying now. So now let's dig into the numbers. So let's say I'm looking at my notes here, and these numbers I ran at NerdWalletMortgageCalculator.com. So that's nerd, N-E-R-D, wallet.com, and it's their mortgage calculator. So let's say you want to buy a home in today's climate for $550,000, and you want to put 3.5% down. That is $19,250, and your interest rate is 4%. Your monthly payment on that, and this is including mortgage insurance. This is including taxes. This is a estimate, but your payment will be around $3,360 for a $550,000 home in today's market at 4% interest. Now, let's say you want to wait until the market drops. Let's say the market drops 10% to where that same house that you wanted to buy at 550 is now 500,000. Typically, when prices drop, interest rates go up. That is historically how it works. So let's say interest rates, instead of 4%, go up only 1% to 5%. And on that $500,000 home, you put 3.5% down. That's $17,500 that you put down. At 5% interest, your monthly payment will be around $3,362. So even though you're purchasing a property at a lower price, with the higher interest, your monthly payment is actually $2 more than if you were to buy at a higher price but lower interest. Kind of interesting, isn't it? So again, really consider the reason why you want to buy and whether or not waiting is the best situation for you. Obviously, there are always situations that cause you to have to want to buy now, or it could be anything that can force you to be in a situation where you have to get it done as soon as possible, or if you're just a little bit skeptical. But a lot of my clients who have bought in the past several years, you can ask them, they don't regret it. So if you're kind of on the fence thinking a little bit, I just suggest that you really dig into the financials, dig into the numbers, and see if waiting is really going to be the best scenario for you. Because if you do wait 2-3 years for prices to drop, you're losing out on 2-3 years of equity that you could be gaining in a property that you purchase now. So I know that could be a little confusing. I know I went into detail, but again, if you guys have questions, please feel free to reach out. I'm here to help. And enjoy this weekend. It is Friday. For me, that really means nothing. I work all the time, but enjoy the weekend. I'm here to help.